Hello everyone and welcome back for week 3 of the 8-week online summer 23 1510 course. Just a couple of quick reminders here. I got messaging from students about a couple of different things. There were odds and ends here. I have tried to address everything that students kind of had going on that were problematic. I didn't see much of it being that much of an issue. You know, a couple of things were just some submissions that you were for the most part, it were just things just screwing up on what was going in which file. I think most of them had worked out. Students kind of submitted a few things incorrectly here and there. Most of those seem to have been addressed. And then with some of the submission things, guys, remember that keep an eye open for the discussion boards. You know, keep an eye open for the Dropbox files. Remember that everything shows up over here on this side. And then you'll see over the next couple weeks, many more things will be opening up. This week, rough draft on here. Then during this, you'll see that it'll be an overlap between those weeks. We're in week 3 here. So you're doing everyone submitted your summary and outline for the memoir this last Sunday. I'll start posting the rest of those with grades over this week, including I had a couple of you that I didn't realize the diagnostics weren't posted on there with a grade on all of them. I'll make sure those are up. I had a couple of you that they just weren't, I just didn't hit publish, I guess, or weren't accessible or viewable on that end. But they're accounted for. Everybody that's got submissions in, I have those things in. And I got all forms and then submissions for diagnostics from students. And then look like the majority of students, everyone got summary outline in on time on Sunday. So I didn't see anything with those being of much issue. What I want you to pay attention to this week is you're not just submitting a draft, you're working on draft, but now we're into a peer edit stage. So while you had the discussion board for week 1, now we're going to have a memoir discussion board posting. You had the discussion board for week 1, of the introductions, which I'll go through and be posting those grades for everybody on these. For discussion board introduction, everybody gets the points just for having done the introduction there in the discussion board. Now for this portion, you're going to be going through, you're going to be completing, you're going to be reading the content in this Dropbox for the memoir rough draft. You're going to be doing the 600-word minimum of a draft, trying to complete the whole thing, right? A draft of the paper. Read through the scenarios again on here. All the forms and things that were included before, the rubric, summary outline, and the sample paper are still included here. Now you're writing a draft, and with the draft, you're doing 2 submissions. You're putting one into this Dropbox by Sunday at 11:30 p.m., but you're also going to be going in and participating in the discussion board, which will open up it'll actually open up, the discussion board for that one opens up tomorrow. I just had to reprogram something. So tomorrow afternoon, that should be opening up. But you'll see the discussion board open, and your objective there is to both by Sunday put both your draft in here and one copy and paste it into the discussion board for a peer review. And then once that's posted in there, that copy and paste in there by Sunday along with the draft submission, then you're going to go through and you got to review with classmates no later than the following Thursday. If you look at the timeline on that, that's to give you time to both do your draft and submit to both forums by this upcoming Sunday on the 11th, but then also to review with classmates, read and review and post commentary on theirs no later than the following Thursday, so that when you guys are working on final drafts, you'll both have my summary and outline feedback and your classmates' review of the draft in the discussion board. Okay? So watch for both of those this week. The main thing here is that you're in drafting stage, so watch out for any feedback and make sure that those of you who do have tutoring recommendations, you know, if I did make a tutoring recommendation besides just the one required for the course, I got 9 students in class where I recommended more than that, at least 2 or 3 for the term because of sentence level issues you have. And please remember, this is Comp 1. I don't go through it. It doesn't tend to be the case that we go through and address grammar, mechanics, punctuation, and style and things. If you have those types of issues, you need to seek out additional support for those. I will be responding primarily to content. We should be able to work with peer reviews and then my feedback off the summary outlines when we're doing drafting stages. So make sure that you're up on those folks, and that if you do need more support at the sentence level because you know some of your writing's shaky, make sure that you're seeking that out through the ASC. And remember, ASC is listed right up here under Student Services. Click on Academic Support Center, takes you externally. You can go down here to the tutoring schedule and pick whichever one's closest to your campus. You can do those face-to-face or online. They offer both available to students. Okay, now there are a number of things with some students in this class. This has been a little bit odd still with some of the students in here. I just don't feel are necessarily acclimated to an online environment because of some of the things that are just happening kind of repeatedly with submissions and contact and everything else. So I'm going to reiterate a couple of points, and I want to remind you, you're responsible for not only understanding how these work, but all the self-starting things that go along with being in an online-only class. Just please remember, you're responsible for staying up on all of these things week to week. One of the things there is knowing the platform. Some students have asked me about syllabus, or questions that are things that are answered on syllabus. The syllabus has been listed in the same spot since the start. It's here under your content file from week 1. I do feel there are some students who are not actually watching the videos and are not going through the content for the course. I can't do anything about that, folks. If you're not up to date on these things and doing the work, there's nothing I can do for you, okay? I can't do it for you, and I can't chase people around for work and different things like that as the weeks progress. This should be your submissions and my reaction to the submissions, and that's about it on there. So just make sure that you're staying up on those and you're watching all the content. And when there's more instructional things in the drop boxes, make sure you're watching those as well. Like last week with the summary outline, make sure that you did watch those. For the most part, I see people's submissions are looking pretty good. In this class so far, the students are up on the work. I think it's been pretty good that I haven't seen a bunch of issues. The majority of students, I would say, out of the 23 or 24 still on roster, I'd say we have 18 or 19 pretty close each assignment and submission thing so far, with following the directions, being on point, and understand what's going on. But the rest, there's a real concern there where I'm not exactly sure how you're missing the instructional points or misunderstanding things as we go through some of those. They're just very straightforward parts of the instructions that you just seem to be missing by not actually reading the directions and not actually going through on the video. So make sure you're addressing those things, folks, and staying up on everything week to week. Also remember, if you need to make contact, the instant messaging here at the top is what we're using, not email through OCC. We'll use email only if we need to go in that direction because we're not able to work things out here in this instant messaging. This is directly back and forth from me to you, so we don't have to go through anything additional with content or trying to find your messages that you send me in different areas. Okay, I still had 6 people from the class sending me emails that had no subject line that was identifiable for anything for the course content or anything like that. So none of the instructions being followed. That's very difficult for me to try and chase things around when I don't know what class or session or section or anything like that a student is actually in. Okay? So for this week, not a lot beyond that. It's just the drafting stage for the memoir. You're going to watch for the discussion board that pops up that you'll be engaged in over the next week. And then when we start next week on the 12th, you'll be going through 2 different things. You'll have the final draft of the memoir itself that you're doing, along with the rhetorical analysis summary outline. And this week, coming up in the 4th week, you'll see the rest of the semester schedule pop up. Again, if you have questions, send me a message up here. Excuse me. I will be posting the remainder of the grades over the next, of the ones that I have so far anyways, over the next 3 to 5 days. So watch for those and let me know if you got questions, okay?